very special people. They're the luckiest people in the world.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Jane Pauley.
My Name is Barbra, the name of Barbra Streisand's first television special back in 1965, an early beloved album, and now one of the most anticipated memoirs of the year. Her new book is out Tuesday. But this morning, this music and movie legend is talking with Gayle King.
Barbra, no one else has this at their home. You're aware of that, right?
Well,
Most
I hope
people
not.
build gyms or
I know.
media rooms.
Descend to the basement of Barbra Streisand's Malibu home, and you'll be transported to her own private mall. Yes, a mall.
I love to collect. I'm a collector.
Yeah.
So I love antiques. I didn't have a doll, so I put hot water into a hot water bottle, which felt like a real person.
Wow, Barbra. I think that you've made up for not having a doll when you were
That's
a child.
right, I did.
Wow.
B's doll shop is a poor girl's fantasy.
Yeah, she blows bubbles. Do you believe that?
Brought to life Streisand style.
Come on in.
Another
Come on
reveal
in,
at
girl.
Barbara's.
This is my antique clothes room.
Of course it is.
Yes.
I'm wearing second-hand hats.
Further down the mall, the wardrobe of her extraordinary life.
I wore to meet President John Kennedy. This here I had embroidered to meet the Queen of England.
Along with clothes for a second-hand rose.
You know, these are things I bought in the thrift shop. Look at this. Feel that velvet. Feel the velvet. This was $10. I feel right in something that had a life in it. In other words, something from the past that I felt like I was once there.
In her new memoir, My Name Is Barbra, Streisand takes us there.
My name is Barbra.
Giving us a front row seat to her singular 6-decade career as a singer,
As time goes by.
actor,
Your girl is lovely, Hubble. Why don't you bring her for a drink when you come?
and director. Along the way, dishing about past loves and regrets and setting the record straight.
What do you want people to get out of this book? What do you want them to know about you?
I want them to know the truth. I love truth. One of the reasons I wrote the book is to talk about the myths about me.
And now for my next trick. Down with love, with flowers and rice and shoes.
The singer, praised for her peerless voice, is also known as an exacting perfectionist, and she makes no apologies.
A man is forceful. A woman is pushy. He shows leadership. She's controlling. If he acts, produces, and directs, he's called a multi-talented hyphenate. She's called vain and egotistical. I don't think of myself as a famous person. I just don't. I'm the same Barbra Jones Streisand as I was in high school.
Where has the time gone to?
Growing up in Brooklyn, Streisand was a confident kid and a good student.
But I had a D in conduct because if they didn't call on me and I had the answer, I would just blurt it out.
She says the death of her dad, Emmanuel, when she was just 15 months old, left a hole in her life.
I was angry that I didn't have a father. I remember saying to my mother, "Why didn't you ever tell me about my father?" And she said, "I didn't want you to miss him."
Streisand's mom, Diana, widowed at 34 with 2 young children, is described in the book as cold and unsupportive.
She didn't seem very affectionate to you.
Well, she didn't believe in it. I said, "Mom, how come you don't ever, hug me or say the words, 'I love you'?" And she said, "My mother and father, they never hugged me, but I knew they loved me." Now, I said, "Well, I didn't know you loved me."
Her talent would rescue her.
I knew I had a good voice at 5 years old. We kids used to gather on the stoop and we would harmonize, and I was the girl with no father and a good voice.
You'll never know just how much I miss you.
At 13, Streisand's mother paid to make Barbra's first record. Before long, she met her longtime manager, Marty Ehrlichman, while singing at a Greenwich Village nightclub.
Marty found me at 19 at the Bonsoir, right? And he wanted to
yes.
get me a record contract. Columbia Records will sign me, but I said, I don't care what they pay me. I just need creative control. Now, he said to me, creative control? You're 19, you're nobody. You know, I don't know if I can get that for you.
Not too many 19-year-olds, by the way, are asking for creative control. Just saying.
I probably not.
Yeah.
But to me, they saw me at the Bonsoir. They said she's singing these cockamamie songs like Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf 1 minute.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad
The next one is Sleeping Bee.
When a bee lies sleeping.
I was being in the moment. I wanted to be an actress. I did not want to be a singer. I had to pay the rent. So I entered a talent contest and won.
Right.
But I was able to use the techniques I learned in acting classes to make it interesting for me to sing a song.
Take that snappy standard, Happy Days Are Here Again.
So let's sing a song.
Streisand slowed it down and made it her own.
Happy days are
As she writes in her book, that would lead to a memorable duet with Judy Garland.
the sun is shining together. Come on, guys. Shout it now. There's no.
I fell in love with her, and her voice is spectacular. But when I sang with her, I was noticing her fragility, and she held my hand through our duet. I wondered why she was nervous. Only later we became friends. I remember her coming to my apartment, and I thought, now I know what she's frightened about. That's what happens when you have a long career. It doesn't get easier.
Yeah.
It gets harder.
But Barbara,
When you have no fear, when you know you're going to be famous, you're not going to be famous.
you don't have fear today. No.
I don't have fear today.
I'm asking.
Of course, I don't want to sing anymore in public.
You don't?
No.
'Cause I'm the greatest star. I am
The peerless fame Streisand dreamed of came with a starring role on Broadway, playing the role of Fanny Bryce.
You get Funny Girl. I mean, and it's a huge hit. And so when you look back on that time in your life, what does that mean to you after Funny Girl?
It meant the world to me. It was everything I imagined wanting a play to be for me. To have serious relationships, to have comedy, to sing great songs.
But as she writes, Funny Girl's success came at a steep price. She had a contract to fulfill.
Now I would have to be on stage doing the same thing every night for 18 months. This was like a prison sentence to me.
But it's hard to do the same thing over and over, sing the same song over and over?
God, yeah, you just bore yourself. It's very boring.
Barbara, for the audience that's sitting there, for some of them, it's the first time they've seen it. So
I
they're not
can't-
bored.
I'm not them.
And that was part of Streisand's appeal. There had never been anyone quite like her, right down to her distinctive nose.
The reason why I think this is so interesting is because you
Why?
write in the book that, you know, many years people said you should do something with your nose. You should fix your nose. You should do your teeth.
Yes. And I thought, why would I take off my bump? It makes me look more unique.
Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter.
Her performance in the film version of the play won her an Oscar and launched her movie career.
What's up, Doc?
Playing comedy in What's Up, Doc,
Meeting like this. I believe you dropped something.
and capturing the magic of an opposites attract romance in The Way We Were.
Katie, you expect so much.
Oh, but look what I've got.
That film, along with a remake of A Star is Born,
You and I will make each night a first.
cemented her status as a major box office draw.
Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you see me?
With Yentl, Streisand took on the first of 3 films that she would direct.
I love directing.
Tell us why.
Well, because it's a complete vision. You know, it calls on every aspect of yourself. Decorating, you know, visualizing, helping actors achieve a performance that I have in my mind for them.
I gotta find me a nice Jewish boy. You guys are killing me.
After an early marriage to actor Elliot Gould, with whom she had a son, Jason, the cast of Streisand's real-life romances included a politician, actors, and even a tennis star.
You have a very impressive dating roster, if I may say. I'm bowing down to you. There's Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. There's Don Johnson. There's Ryan O'Neal. There's Andre Agassi. I know, I'd laugh too if I had all those guys. So I would like to
Listen,
know.
I didn't want to write about any of them.
But you did.
My editor said, you have to leave some blood on the page. I said,
Listen, I like knowing that Barbara had a very nice dating roster. I like that myself. Did you have a good time?
with the men in my life, yes.
Yes.
Streisand was in her 50s when she was set up with actor James Brolin at a dinner party. She had quite an opening line.
I walked by him, touched his hair, and said, who up your hair? Because that was the truth.
Yes.
And I didn't, what else was I going to say?
Well,
Hello,
yeah.
my name is Barbara. I mean, what?
Jim, some people could have been turned off by that kind of directness. You were not. That was attractive to you, right?
Very.
Was. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
No, it was instant. It was like a wand went bing, uh-oh, you're screwed.
They have been married for 25 years.
Jim, you know her very well. What do you think is the biggest misperception or misconception people have about her?
Well, there's a lot of little girl in there, a lot. And therefore, it was covered up with a lot of firmness about how she'd like life to be and how she'd like to have things done.
At 81, Barbra Streisand can look back on quite a life and legacy.
What would make you happy for us to think about you?
I love when people write me and they say, I played you at my wedding. That song helped me get through cancer. When I help people through my music or a film,
That matters.
That's what makes me feel good, that I've earned my right to be born, you know, that I earned my right to be here and to reap the success that has been lathered on me.
You bet your ass, Papa!